Hello again, guys. It's been a while since I've actually been back on camera. A few months ago, I actually decided to transition from my daughter's house that I was located with all my collection, or most of it, to the private storage. The reason I did that is because I was outgrowing my collection. Should I say my collection was outgrowing me, and I needed to sort it out and see what exactly I had and what I needed to get rid of. In trying to do that, I went ahead and I started renting. At first, when I moved most of the stuff to my daughter's house, I'll never forget it was actually two 17-foot U-Hauls that I rented and several carloads, and I was able to get there. Coming out of there about 4 years later, to my shock, I came out with altogether 6 trucks. One was a 17-foot, and then I rented five more 15-footers. And I have a CRV, and believe it or not, I loaded the CRV 10 times. I counted that to see how much stuff had grown. Anyway, I wound up getting four 10 by 10s. And when I'm saying it's 4 units that are 10 feet by 10 feet and one unit that's 15 by 15 feet. And it was loaded because I put everything in and I really had no time to, sort anything because you just want to rent the truck, go there. Anyway, it's been a grueling, probably couple of months now. And every week I go there and I try to organize. And because of it, I have not been on the camera. I haven't been doing any videos, and my channel, a lot of people have said, has turned into a full magic channel. Thanks to Chuck Caputo. He's been so nice and stuff that he's taking his time to make all those videos to keep the channel going and keep the crowd happy. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to have a weekly, which my videos are not going to be longer than 10-15 minutes, not even. I'm going to make them short, but I'm going to review a lot of the products that I've come across now that I've moved my storage. Now, today is going to be a little bit longer because it's going to be the initial video. So I hope you guys will enjoy for the next couple of minutes as I review some of the products. Now, what I did is I got a box, and I guess I just took a random box, and whatever is in that box I'm going to take out, which I have next to me here, and we'll see what products are there and we'll go over it. Okay, so most of the products that I have in this box are Pointer products. Now, Pointer is the company that used to make the Addams Family Thing Bank, and they're known by doing slot machines. They made a couple of products, and they were very famous in the 60s and 70s and up to the 80s until the company finally folded. But they're the ones that originated what is called the Addams Family Thing Bank, which is the black box. I have one here. This one here, it's the black box, and this was by Pointer Products, and it's the Addams Family Thing Bank. Now, this box in particular had, as the demand for the product, which became better and better, I guess there was a big demand when it first came out, and a green hand, which didn't really look like a hand at the time, was more like a little clamp, would come out, grab the coin that you would put in, and it would go back in the box. There was a couple of variations of this bank that were made, all by Pointer Products, because at the beginning they owned the patent to it. So if you look at a modern day black box like this, it's a little smaller than the original. But in this particular box, okay, this is one of those variations that was very, very different. Pointer Product made the initial Addams Family thing, and if you have one of those originals, I will soon. I wish I had it in this box. It's not in the box, but I have eventually will come across one and I'll show it. The artwork was phenomenal. It showed the Addams Family layout. I'm sorry, the Addams Family show, and it had the house on one side. I think it was Uncle Fester, and it's a beautiful box. The box alone is worth the product, I think. Now, what Pointer Products did with this particular product is they made a couple of variations of it. And the second one, and this one is a very rare one. This one was called the Instant Refund. The Johnson Smith Company used to sell it. Here's one. It's the same bank, but one is out of the box, and I have here one in the box. And as you can see, it's in probably almost mint condition, near mint condition. The box is in really perfect shape, and if you open it up, You could see it has the instructions and everything still in it. I have acquired a couple of this banks, even though this bank was probably the bank that gave me the hardest time to acquire because I couldn't find it. But what this bank does is when you put the coin, the hand, I don't know if I can open it here. Let me see if I can open it so you should give you an idea what it does. Okay. All right, here you go. As you can see inside, the hand in this particular version, I don't know if you could see it there. I hope you could see some of it, but it throws the coin back at you. So what it does is, like the other bank would get the coin and take it in, this bank, the coin actually was tossed back at you. So it was called by the Johnson Smith Company. When you look at any 1970s Johnson Smith catalog, you're going to find this product called the anti-bank. It throws it back at you. Again, the original product was the Addams Family Thing Bank, and it would take the coin, and this one, it's a different variation. So again, this bank right here, I'll put it to the side here. And let's dig it to see what other items I have in the box here. Now, the other item I have in this box is another bank. It was also sold by the Johnson Smith Company, and this one was called Greedy Fingers Bank, or the Coffin Bank. Now, as you can see, this one is sealed in good condition. It's an honest, and the box is really nice. Now, this bank made a lot of variations of it. I guess there was really no patent on it, so it came from China. Japan at first, and then they made them in China. But I have probably about 7 or 8 different ones. There's actually ones that are an actual coffin, and then the hand comes out and all that. Now let me see if I can get it out here, because one of the problems that a lot of these banks have, especially the ones that I just showed you from the Addams family or pointed products, is that, oh, there you go, is that the banks, when they were made, and we'll get this bank here to show you, there's a gear in here that was made of plastic. Sometimes on eBay you see that they have a replacement gear. So most of these banks, just by being in the original box, they give up the ghost. They stop working, they die. And I found out the hard way, because a lot of times, like you see, I got one here in the box. I wouldn't be surprised that it's probably not working because that gear breaks off, but it could be repaired. I've actually learned how to repair them now. With this bank, we have here that, it's a wind-up one, and it's made in Hong Kong. Actually, I'm sorry, I was saying China. Made in Hong Kong, and the way it works, as you can see, is you wind it up and you put the coin here. Out comes the hand. Now, if you guys look at the hand, take a look at the hand now. And the reason I'm showing you the hand is because there is a bank that I found a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know I had it, but I saw it being reviewed by an individual. He's about 80 years old right now, I believe. His name is Tim, and he reviews on there's a show on YouTube called Grand Illusions. He's a phenomenal guy. His name is Tim something, and he does all these reviews. And I was looking, and I noticed he had a bank on the review, and I'm like, wow, I think I've seen that bank. I think I've seen it in my collection now. I'll put this over to the side here because I'm trying to keep it back in its original box here. Now, here's the reason I mentioned that. I came across the bank, and it's in this little box here. Now, this bank, just like you see, oh, there you go, scared me there. Just as you see this, this was called in the Johnson Smith catalog, they called this the Greedy Fingers Bank. This version of it, it's the same hand. It uses the same exact hand, but it's an actual coffin, as you could see. Now mine's the box is, it's made in Japan. See, it says made in Japan there. You can see, I guess it's the late 70s, early 1980. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting. Now, the way it works is you would put the coin here, but as you can see, this one has the little skeleton head that pops up. Well, this one, look what it does. See? It uses the same mechanism, But the best part about this bank is that it has inside a chip. So not a chip, it actually uses like the old laughing bag. It has a record, a little record thing. So when you press it in, it starts the mechanism. It's battery operated, obviously, and then the record plays and it laughs. Now, this bank was interesting because when I found it and I tried it, it had given up the ghost, and I spent some time and finally got it repaired. I got to put it here gently because sometimes it'll start on its own, as I did a few minutes ago. But anyway, it's called the Ghost Hand, and I think it's one of my favorite all time because just like the Greedy, there you go, just like the Greedy Fingers Bank, this bank, I have another one like that. That's the same type of coffin, but it has a little skeleton head that pops up, but it's shaped like a coffin. If you look at some early Johnson Smith catalogs, it has the Greedy Fingers Bank, which is this one, but instead of the square box, it's shaped like a coffin. I was able to obtain that as well. Now, I'll put it here to the side, and let's bring some more products here. Now, anybody who looked at a comic book back in the day remembered the ad for the 100, I think it was the 100 toy soldiers. And here is, in the box, I found one of my originals. You can see the box is in really beautiful, pristine condition here. When you open it, you could see the soldiers. Problem is getting it open. You got to be very careful because, I mean, you're looking at collectibles. Here you go. Here you go. I just want to show you. See, the soldiers and the toys were actually flats. Most of this stuff is actually pictured in a book that was written by Kirk Demarais, where he actually flew over to my place from Arkansas, and he spent with me 3 days photographing most of my collection.